Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Due to YouTube's changing quote-unquote community standards, I created a channel called Grumpy Old Fart over on Rumble, a free speech alternative to YouTube. You can see all of my stuff over there, including my political and social commentary, as well as my current events videos. The links to my YouTube and Rumble channels, as well as links to let you order my books, are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. This is kind of a new one. I hadn't intended to do advice on Star Wars, the role-playing game. However, I had somebody ask me a question the other day. So I'm going to get into this. Those pesky Darkside Force users. Okay, first off, just to make it clear, I use the old D6 revised Star Wars system. I do not use the D20 system. In my opinion, the D20 system loses the flavor of the old gaming systems. That's just my preference, so keep in mind, that's what I'm using. Now, a friend of mine asked me a while back how I deal with powerful Force-using bad guys. In Star Wars, they're called Sith, or Dark Jedi, or Krath, or whatever. But for whatever reason, they use the Force and they're bad guys. Palpatine, Darth Sidious was a bad guy. Darth Vader was a bad guy. Darth Maul was a bad guy. They all use the Force. Now, my friend asked me how I personally deal with powerful Force-using bad guys. Now, this particular system may not work in the D20. I do not know. But in this one, it seems to work pretty good. At least in my experience. Now, before I answer that, let me explain the difference between the original system and the revised system. It's important to understand that. In the original system, the number of Darkside points a Force user had could be added to his Force skills, Control, Sense, and Alter, as dice. So, 5 Darkside points bolstered a Sith with 5 dice in Control, 5 dice in Sense, and 5 dice in Alter, to 10 dice each. Anytime he rolled a Force skill, he got to add those 5 Darkside points in as dice. So his 5 dice became 10. You see what I'm saying? Imagine how many Darkside points and consequently how many extra dice for his Force skills Emperor Palpatine had. That dude did evil shit every freaking day. I would imagine he stepped on baby puppies the first chance he got. I'm just saying. You know, if that using that system, a Darkside Force user would want as many Darkside points as he can. And that was a failing in the old system. In the revised system, a Darkside person has to call on the Darkside, and it gives him or her extra dice. But it exacts a toll on his body and his mind. This is the system that I use. It was a little more fair, you know? Now, I developed, or possibly invented, I don't know, a method for dealing with those pesky Darkside Force users. And I didn't really understand why it worked so well at first until I realized why it worked so well. The system works better with a group, but it can work with only one player. It's very simple. Pour on the blaster fire. According to the rules, your character can fire extra shots each round by subtracting dice from his blaster die code. So if his blaster skill is 5 dice, he gets 1 shot for free, and he can fire 4 more by subtracting 4 dice from his code for each shot. So he'll get 5 shots at 1 die each. You see how that works? You're only using 1 die, but you get 5 shots. That seems kind of pathetic, and it is. But you have to understand the blaster damage is the same regardless. So, the Force user can deflect these easily. If he starts deflecting them back at you, you've got an issue. But his wild die works the same as yours. Statistically, every 6th roll will be a 1, which is an automatic failure. That's the way the wild die system works in Star Wars. It comes down basically to who rolls a 1 on their wild die first. This makes it a 50-50 chance for victory. Imagine a group of 5-player characters targeting one Sith. That sounds chintzy until you realize that Force users have such an advantage over non-Force users in the game that 50-50 is actually a much better chance than if one PC is attacking a Sith alone and he gets his one shot. You see what I'm saying? That 50-50 is a much better chance than that. So essentially, if you've got a group of players and the Sith bad guy is over there, tell your Jedi to sit down and your group form a semicircle and just blast away. He is not infallible. He will roll a 1 on his wild die eventually. Hopefully before he deflects the bolts back at you. That being said, that's how I deal with him, and it works pretty well. I've had a lot of success with it. I've had player characters look at me like I'm crazy for doing it. I had a number of different game masters kind of give me that odd, perplexed look. But hey, it worked for me. And the oldest tactical principle, remember, do what works. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good day now. God bless one and all. Devo Poland, a scientific representative of a pacifist race called the Gandhiri, is sent away as an exchange officer. His objective, to learn the one skill his species never developed, to fight. And he's sent to learn that skill from the one species who does it better than any other in the galaxy, humans. If you like science fiction with an upbeat military tone, check out my novel, Vanguard 1.